What I was using as a solution for my problems is now become a bigger problem in my life and is no longer the solution at all. It's actually stealing my life from me. When I was 19 years old is when addiction really took a toll in my life. I ended up trying cocaine. It wasn't within weeks of trying it. I started seeing the signs of addiction happening, and it just pretty much took control of my life. I ended up getting a treatment for it, and I went through a treatment episode when I was 21. Then when I was 22, I finally had my third treatment episode, and then I stayed sober for the next 28 years-ish. Just to kind of see how this thing is like a prowling lion seeking a way to devour me. After my divorce in December 20, I had a lot of stresses because my ex was my business partner and felt very isolated with being able to ask for help in that. Didn't even know where to go for help for that. I stopped going to the church I was going to because that's where my ex went, so I lost that connection. So I just sort of found myself isolating, and just the wrong person came into my life at that time and mentioned they had it. It's weird how the addict mind works. It's like a survival mode, and my mind just cuts off any trying to think of all the negatives and just like, this is gonna help you cope right here, right now. The way I look at it is, I'm not necessarily addicted to a certain thing, I'm addicted to escape. Like a fungus or a mold grows in darkness, and that's how the analogy I'll use for it, that as long as I keep it covered, it just keeps festering and growing and growing. I remember at that point I was in the Rooted group, and I finally fessed up to them that I had relapsed. To be able to admit that, to acknowledge it, it was the beginning of the healing process by doing that. Yes, there's still a lot of challenges and hardships to go through, but that was the beginning. So the first time I heard about Project Exodus was as a result of me asking Pastor Joe to be involved with Rooted. And it was maybe a year later, I get an email saying that there may be an opening for Rooted. However, there's also an addictions ministry that Julie was kind of spearheading that wants to get this thing rolling at the church, and is that something I'd be involved with? And I was like, that's it, that's what I want to be involved with, yes.
I'm Julie Robertson, I'm the Director of Care Ministries here at Chapelstreet Church. We're really excited about Project Exodus. The statistics show across the board the addictions of people struggling with alcohol, with substances, with pornography, with gaming, with gambling. The numbers are the same inside the church as they are outside of the church. Project Exodus is a program that allows people going through recovery, people struggling with addictions, the people who love them. It gives them a place to come and to be real and to be seen.
So the reason I want to be involved in Project Exodus, I think that I've been uniquely set up. This was the work I feel that God has called me to do. And even though God didn't make me become an addict, these were all choices that I made. He has turned those choices into something that's going to do great things. And just like Jesus' death on the cross, the weapon of the enemy was death. Now God is using death to be the weapon against the enemy, and the same thing with addiction. Yeah, it was meant to bring me down, but now I'm going to use addiction to fight against the enemy through Jesus Christ.